Okay.
How I learned about Dr. Torrey was I was listening to the radio one day, and it came across Father Rights, so I gave and left the number, and I gave her a call. When I gave Dr. Torrey a call, I was going through a custody battle for my daughter. The custody battle with my daughter was, for me, it was like unreachable because I had to go through several different states to figure out what I had to do. And so I was puzzled. I was puzzled. I didn't know what I had to do. And because I didn't have the visiting rights. I didn't have visiting rights. So with my case, I had met my daughter when she was 7. I didn't know she was my daughter. At first, I took a parental test, and it came back she was mine. So from 7 years old, I reached out. Mind you, I reached out for the parental test because I never seen her before, and someone who was friends with her mother and myself had told me that the baby looked similar to me, and they showed a picture, so she looked like my youngest daughter. So this was in Minnesota. I reached out to Minnesota, and I had scheduled a parental test, which they sent me to a testing site in Illinois. I took the test. The test came back that she was mine. She was 7 years old. That's when I started reaching out, trying to get to know her. So I came in. I don't know her life story before 7, but when I came in at 7, I started trying to build a relationship. So the person who had her was, I reached out to her, and I started going to her to see my daughter and, building a relationship. So she got comfortable where she started coming out, and I get her off school break every weekend and all summer. But then one summer, 2017, she asked, can she live with me? And I said, yeah. So we reached out to the person who had guardianship over her, which she was telling me she had adopted her. I didn't know the story behind how she got her, but she told me she had adopted her, and I didn't know that she didn't. But we reached out and we asked if she was able to stay for school. And she said she had every reason on why she couldn't. And then that year, when I flew her back, because they had moved from Minnesota to Georgia. When I flew her back to Georgia, she cut off all contact with me and my daughter. So mind you, when I reached out, I created the relationship. As soon as I created the relationship, the guardian had put me on child support. So I was on child support from Minnesota. So when they moved to Georgia, and she said she wanted to move in 2017, she said she wanted to move with me. And now they stand in Georgia. When she got back home, that's after the summer break, she cut, like I reach out to the guardian, and I couldn't get in like she didn't answer the phone. She just stopped all communication all the way up for almost a year. I called constantly every week, constantly for almost up for a year, and it was almost time right before it was time for us to go to court. So I'm assuming that she had got subpoena, and then she answered that time 3 days before she's supposed to graduate, and she gave me the graduation information 3 days before she's supposed to graduate from 8th grade. Mind you, I had to go to 3 states to figure out what I had to do before I contacted her. I drove to Minnesota and see, because they had me on child support in Minnesota. I drove to Minnesota and see what was my rights. That's when I found out that, I didn't even know. Minnesota didn't really tell me that she didn't have a doctor. Just before they moved to Georgia, Jess was awarded guardianship over her. But she was telling me she had adopted him. So I didn't know she didn't adopt him until it came out in court when we was in Georgia. But they said like right before she moved to Georgia, they just terminated her mother's rights, and awarded her full guardianship over her and her little sister. So the process went pretty fast for me, because I went through Minnesota, told me I had to come to Illinois. Illinois said it's out of their jurisdiction, that I probably have to go to the residing state, which was Georgia. So I didn't have no contacts in Georgia. I ain't no lawyers in Georgia. So I reached out to Miss Dr. Father Rights, and she assisted me. Well, Attorney Holloway, it started off shaky, but it prevailed at the end. She really went in and represented me during the middle of the case, I think real well. But, I felt like, because of all the money I had to spend and everything during the case, it's like they didn't really care about the situation I had here in Chicago. Like, for my visitation right, I had to go to Georgia and stay in a hotel for weeks just to have visitation rights. And I have children here. So, these are the things that I feel was wrong, because, they was trying to make like I ain't have a relationship with her. And she was 14 now, so we had a 7-year relationship, comfortable. And I feel like that wasn't. I feel like she could have did more with that, which, after a while they started letting her come. And I had to find everything with that and the back and forth, but it was okay. And I think Miss Holloway did a great job. The outcome of my case is I was awarded full custody of my daughter, and she now resides with me. I didn't have a relationship with my father. And I didn't have a relationship with my mother either. So I was a product of what a lot of men of color subjected to. I grew up in a disproportionate neighborhood, and I didn't have the luxury of parents. So I wanted to give her that parent that I ain't have. One thing that I wanted her to feel was that somebody fought for her. Her mother gave up, and everybody gave up. Like in the beginning of the case, it wasn't looking like I was gonna get her at the end. So I just wanted to fight. So it didn't matter the money, the time. It's just, I feel complete because I actually showed her that I fought, and she's with me and she well taken care of. A father that's getting frustrated into the fight, I tell him to hold on. because if he got good intention for his child, the outcome will show.